Hello, and welcome to the first podcast. Our guest is nowhere to be found, and Kudos has passed away. So for now, it's just Lars and myself.
So I'll let you get your sound effects toy out of the way. Like, go ahead and do all the things you want to do for a few minutes, and then...
Oh my God.
Okay. So I've been doing this thing now where whenever I think of something either funny or interesting or otherwise amusing, I'll write it in Google Keep. And I've been just gathering interesting observations and stuff about life. And one of them that I came up with today is that I feel like we kind of take volcanoes in stride.
Huh?
So, okay.
What do you mean?
So here's the thing. Okay, so if volcanoes didn't exist and you pitched them to someone, they'd be like, "What the f? That sounds like incredibly dangerous." Like they're mountains that just explode, right? Like we have exploding mountains.
We do have exploding mountains.
But people, first of all, they're not even worried about it. Second of all, they live next door to them. Civilization has gathered around volcanoes, even though they're literally at any time they could just die.
Yeah. And I'm assuming you're specifically talking about Hawaii, yes?
No, Amir, there are volcanoes all over the world.
Well, I mean, as far as coexisting with volcanoes voluntarily.
Yeah, I would say so.
I feel like people in Hawaii are just oh yeah, this is cool.
Well, maybe because they kind of have to, because if you want to live in Hawaii, you're going to live near a volcano at some point. This is kind of how it works. But then in the United States, in Washington, I think it's Mount St. Helens or whatever it's called. People just live kind of nearby to the point where if there is a volcano explosion, they would die. And they're just fine with that. They're just okay, I'm going to settle here and I might die tomorrow. I might die a horrible death tomorrow, but that's fine. It's weird that we just kind of accept them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I always think of that. Have you seen 2012?
No.
That movie? Oh, it's a great movie. But there's a part where Yellowstone erupts, because obviously it's a movie about the end of the world.
Yeah.
And there's a part where Yellowstone erupts and they're driving away from it in a Winnebago. And that part always freaks me out because I'm just damn, volcanoes, they do be dangerous.
Yeah, they're incredibly dangerous. And we just kind of... People just choose to live next to them. I don't understand it. It's like a weird death wish or something. Or I don't know. I just feel like it's weird that we're just fine with volcanoes.
Yeah, we should boycott volcanoes.
Yeah, I'll start the Twitter hashtag. Let's go.
Yeah, let's cancel them. Volcanoes are problematic.
You can't keep getting away with it.
That's not going to get old.
You can't keep getting away with it.
It's not even relevant to the conversation at all.
Are you sure?
I'm a cool pro
what about this one?
Gamer. Cool pro Fortnite. Take me to your Xbox.
I feel like that's going to get us claimed, right? Because of American Boy?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 seconds.
Okay.
For context, okay, for those of you that are wondering where these beautiful sound bites are coming from.
$19 Fortnite card.
I actually got a Rodecaster from the beautiful boys over at The Create Unknown.
The worst podcast in the world, by the way.
The best podcast in the world.
Okay.
Just terrible, horrible human beings that whistle while they pee.
That's not true. They've won me over with their love and their support.
Well, they're going to keep insulting us on air, so we have to keep firing back.
Yeah. I get what I meant to say was, bruh. And
no one is going to want to listen to this. I mean, no one. Anyway, so that was kind of my bit. I feel like I'm suspicious of volcanoes.
I don't got anything. I guess since.
Wait, no. We can talk about. Let's do the purchase corner because you got your Rodecaster. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because I have something to bring too.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Well, I guess we need a jingle. So I'll do a jingle. Hey, yeah. purchase corner. Hey, I bought some shit with my money, and now I'm broke. Ooh.
This is a certified hood.
Cut this, please.
Okay.
Stop. Okay. All right. So I got a Rodecaster, and basically what this is, it's kind of like an all-in-one for podcasting and beyond. So it's just I pretty much wanted it because my old XLR interface, and this is probably super boring to those of you who don't know what the fuck an XLR interface is. It's pretty much a thing you plug your mic into. Yeah. Anyway, I needed a new one, so my buddy Matthew Tabor, aka one half of the Create Unknown, who is apparently the worst podcast in the world, hooked me up with this thing at a beautiful discount, and I love them. And I love this thing, and it's amazing because I can do a bunch of sound effects, and it sounds great.
So the nice thing is that it's given Amir a quick little tool to be as annoying as humanly possible, just like at the drop of a hat. Just whenever he wants to, he can completely derail the podcast now.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
Like okay. So usually now that Trump's not president anymore, my stress level is usually at a green by default.
Right. And
the moment that Doplex premiered his Rodecaster, my default stress level went up to a yellow, just right off the bat.
Bruh.
But I do. Oh, there goes the motorcycle again. Is he circling my house? What is he?
Maybe.
What is he doing? Okay, so
you should ask him.
Is this Among Us imposter? Is this the imposter?
All right, so I went ahead kicked Doplex. I guess I'll just talk to myself. So I went ahead and got a computer for the first time in I think about 7 years.
Oh, he kicked me.
And
God damn it.
I don't think he knows he's gone. There he is. Okay. So, all right. So I went ahead and got a computer for the first time in about 7 years.
Right.
Because mine randomly, it was doing that weird thing we were talking about right before the bonus recording last week. And it started making this weird rattling noise, and just, it just died. It died so fast. But it was kind of like a long time coming because, you know, most computers that you kind of use every day and push it kind of to its limit for 7 years aren't going to last that long.
Right.
But I did something this time, which is, it goes against everything that I have said before.
Conventions.
Yeah, all the Geneva Conventions when it comes to me previously being an ambassador for making your own computer, building your own computer, that is.
Right.
But this time I got a pre-built because I genuinely didn't have time to build a computer.
I gotta say, pre-built PCs aren't as bad as people say they are. You know, I've gone through 2 pre-built PCs, and they both lasted me a long time. And you know, I feel like most pre-built PCs, they come like customizable. So if you ever want to upgrade your fucking I don't know, your piss card or whatever, you know, you just pop in a new piss card and then it holds more piss.
Mm-hmm. And it was a situation where, I mean, objectively, it's going to be more expensive to get a pre-built for the same parts. It just is, right, because they have to factor in labor. But honestly, man, computers have gotten pretty cheap. Like the specs I was able to get were not very expensive. Like it's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
I got a really good computer for what I paid for it. And to be honest, man, there was one really nice thing about the pre-built, which is not something that always happens when you're making a computer yourself, when you're building it, which is that I took it out of the box and I plugged in my keyboard and mouse and turned it on and it just worked. And that was it. Like it took like 2 minutes. It was great.
Yeah.
Obviously I had to like download a bunch of programs and update it and everything. But like going from out of the box to working in no time flat was really nice. I'm one of those guys who actually really enjoyed making a computer back in the day. It was like a whole process where I would take basically an entire afternoon. I'd go into the living room, I'd set out all the parts, I'd probably be back and forth to Fry's a couple times to pick a couple more things up that I'd missed, and then sit there, assemble it, and then eventually it would turn on. But sometimes there'd be problems with it, like something wasn't hooked up right, and everything has to be perfect, otherwise it won't work. But with a pre-built, it's just like you just slap it on. It was great.
Right. And it's also as satisfying outcome when you build something with your own two hands. Like I've never, I mean, I've upgraded PCs, but I've never like built my own PC from scratch, but I have built an arcade cabinet, and that was very much the same thing. It was like a lot of finding different little parts. And it took a few days, but like, once it's done, it's like, yo, I did this shit.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And I guess that's technically a computer, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a computer inside of it.
Yeah, so that counts.
Yeah. Anyway.
Also, it's a gaming computer, so it has like flashing rainbows and stuff. It has a lot of nice gay energy to it. Feel very very gay.
Does your PC have drip?
Here we go.
Does it have drip?
I don't know how to answer that. What do you want? What are you trying to get me to say here?
Just gotta say it has drip.
I'm about to kick you from the server. Oh my god. Anyway. So I got a lot of little things. I have some topics. Here's something a little bit more long form we can talk about, which is that I went on a binge of Kudos's content recently, where I was like, whenever I had free time, I was cramming one of his videos.
Did you get an
erection? Just because like I haven't really watched his backlog before, and it's not a big backlog. Like you can probably finish it in like an afternoon. Yeah. And I noticed that he'd get like not a lot of downvotes, but like way more than you would think. And it kind of got me thinking on that topic, which is that why do people downvote videos?
I can answer this.
Okay.
As a fellow content creator and a close friend of Kudos's, I can tell you that if you ever post your video on Reddit, or if you ever try to promote your video in any way, people will downvote specifically for that principle. It's a deep-rooted, innate, almost like an instinct to downvote something that's an inconvenience to you. It's like if somebody posts something and you're just scrolling through pictures of, I don't know, OnlyFans leaks, and you're like, oh, this video's in my way of I don't know, Bishoju mom's boobies. I gotta downvote this. And then they just
okay.
Why do you think?
And then they downvote it.
It's just weird to me. Like, okay, because in my experience, unless the video is doing something that I consider like morally irresponsible or is otherwise genuinely reprehensible, I'd never vote on videos. Like, yeah, if anything, I just leave. Like, if
you don't even like videos, you don't do any of that?
I do sometimes like videos, especially like if they're the homies or if it's a video that I felt was just really well done, I'll give it a like. Right. But I just don't feel that strongly about stuff where it's like if a video is boring to me, I'm not gonna be like, fuck this guy and like ruin his day with a downvote, like I'll just leave the video. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wondered that myself. I don't think I've ever like just straight. I mean, no, actually, that's untrue. I have downvote. Oh my god, I have disliked videos before, but only when it's like either by a corporation or if it was like a YouTube rewind, and I just wanted it to add to the pile. That's always fun, getting the community together.
I downvote so infrequently that I actually kind of remember sometimes when I do, because usually I have this thing where if I do downvote, I'll try to leave a comment as to why, so that someone's not just left thinking like, oh, well, someone didn't like this, but I don't have any feedback for it, Right. And I remember there's this guy named Vito. I don't know if you've ever heard of him before. He's like a video essay guy. Okay.
I didn't know he was a creator.
I downvoted one of his videos that was called "Why the Last Jedi is a Complete Cinematic Failure," because I just felt like I didn't think that was a great movie. I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was fun. I didn't think it was great, but I feel like it kind of I feel like that kind of hyperbole really kind of destroys meaning of terms and stuff. Like when you say that a movie that I think is pretty competently made and has like decent special effects and good cinematography is a complete cinematic failure, I feel like failure doesn't mean anything anymore. You know what I mean? Like by all objective measures, it was a successful movie. So it's like to call it a failure sounds silly. And I left him a comment saying as such. I told him to go watch like The Room or Shark Exorcist and, you know, see what actual cinematic failure looks like. But I don't know.
Maybe it was just a failure to him, and he just felt the need to voice his opinion, and you know, kind of hope that other people agree. You know,
no doubt.
This actually reminds me. Speaking of dislikes, I made a tweet either yesterday, I think it was like yesterday morning, that said Linkin Park is the PlayStation 2 of music, and you know, the tweet got some traction. You know, I don't tweet very often, but that tweet got some traction. It's at like 30,000 likes right now. And, you know, when something like that happens, where you just like some throwaway joke that's like semi-opinionated, you know, you get a little worried. You're like, fuck, I hope people don't think I'm like talking shit, you know, either way, like, or I'm just voicing my love for Linkin Park. Anyway, this one guy took that and he went to my channel, and then he went to my video and disliked it and commented, "Imagine liking Linkin Park." And that made me laugh so hard because like this guy took the time to go to my most recent video and just, instead of just replying to the tweet, he had to go dislike my video. This guy who has no idea who I am, just like, oh, this will show him for liking Linkin Park.
Yeah, I feel like I can't tell if he's a jerk or if he's hilarious for doing that, because it's kind of like,
right, really,
you have to go out of your way to do that to someone.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he considered that a victory. Victory. And I mean, it made me laugh.
Here's the thing, though. You mentioned that you were worried that people would think you were criticizing Linkin Park, but why do you care?
I don't. The thing is it's so okay. Here's my whole thing, right? The internet, especially in recent years, has become this almost like scary place to voice an opinion, either on either side of the spectrum, right? Like, you know, I don't care. Like, I'll you know, I'm not afraid to speak my truth.
So long, Bowser.
But like, there are, you know, I feel like just something as innocent as saying you like something or you don't like something, there's always like a slight chance that someone will dox you or swat you, which is so funny to me that that's just kind of like the new internet, you know. It's like, hey, you make a slightly racy tweet or a slightly political tweet, you might get killed.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, Twitter's just kind of weird in general. Like, this is like weird
Twitter
culture.
Sucks ass.
Yeah, I mean, I've said many times that like my main motivation for even using it at all is to interface with other creators.
Right.
Like, I don't use it to express myself at all, because it just seems like the response is always, not always poor, but just like the types of people who, I don't know.
You can't see it, but I'm dancing. Mario.
Oh, is that why that's
Mario?
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that's why they included that song. That's what it's okay. He's supposed to be singing. Okay, so are we kind of done with the discussion on downvoting, or do you have any more thoughts on that?
I kind of like where we're going with discussing this new age of Twitter. I think it's an interesting one.
Okay, well, why don't you start us off then?
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm assuming you're cutting everything before this, so I'll go back into it. You know, just like the conversation never stopped.
Oh yeah, I'm totally gonna cut this out, right? Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's Twitter. I mean, just the internet in general, right? I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, you know, you and I we're roughly the same age. You know, we're both in our late 20s. And I feel like the internet as a whole, you know, the way things have changed over the past, I don't know, decade, longer even, like the last 14 years. I remember being in middle school, and you know, you hop on the computer, you go to the school library, and you're like, I want to play some RuneScape. I might, you know, check my emails. You're not expecting any emails, but you just check, you know. And then like, after that, you get MySpace, you go on MySpace. Like, I'm gonna talk to my friends. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. I'm just gonna talk to my friends. And
wait. So you would check your email before MySpace?
Yeah, because I mean that's really all there was. At least I wasn't. I was still a kid, so I'm not like.
You were getting emails as a kid?
No, but like you have an email address.
Who was emailing you?
Nobody. That's the thing. It's just
Oh,
look at my email.
So you go on there, and you be like, I gotta check my email. Whoops, no emails. All right, let's get into that.
One day I'll receive an email.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, aside from that, yeah, my days were filled with MySpace, I guess. Yeah, live journal, that kind of stuff.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, in that sense of just like being connected to other people via an internet connection, that hasn't changed much. What has changed a lot is how people take the internet. People take it very seriously, especially right now. I feel like quarantine has accelerated that. So now everybody feels like their life solely is online. And I feel like it's become this weird thing where like, the internet and Twitter and stan culture, it's like almost become one. So it's like we're living with them. It's like living with a roommate, right? You're like, hey, I'm just here to talk to my friends. Like, if I say something you don't like leave me alone. But it doesn't work like that. If you say something you don't like, then they're gonna come after you. I hope I'm phrasing this correctly. My brain is going a million miles a minute. I don't know what to say. All I'm thinking about is sound bites.
What's your central thesis here, I guess, then?
My central thesis is that the internet and how people use it has changed a lot, just in the sense of how serious we take it. Because before, it was just like, I'm going to post this picture of myself on MySpace just so people could tell me how cool I look or whatever, But now it's like, I'm going to post this picture of this creator on Twitter, and I don't know where I'm going with this.
Okay, so I kind of have some thoughts on this, which is I think that people...
please help me.
Yeah, people have been cooped up for quite a while, and I think that they're kind of pretending that they're not, but it is getting people to a point where, like, spending most of the year inside and not doing anything, a year plus, I guess, at this point, is really messing with people's heads, and they're spending too much time online, and they're starting to take it way too seriously. And I really do think that if the COVID was not a thing right now, that would not be as big of a deal. Like, I feel like people would have lightened up a little bit since then, because you start to spend like 7 or 8 hours online at times, but probably more than that for some people, and it's not good for you.
Yeah,
like, it's too much.
That's true, and like you can kind of feel it, because like I've had days where like I'm not doing anything, and I'm just like on Twitter or whatever. I'm just scrolling, and like I legitimately get a headache from that shit. Like once I'm done, I'm just like, fuck, I feel like shit.
Yeah,
and also too, just a sidebar. I never thought I'd say this, but I miss K-pop stans. I miss them.
What, did they all go away? I don't understand.
No, but they've been shadowed by the freaking Minecraft creator stans.
Oh, okay. So you prefer... Oh. Well, I feel like they're both very
stans.
annoying. Very annoying people.
Yeah, but like with the K-pop stans, you see them in replies, and it's like, okay, cool, whatever. You're posting your dancing video, whatever. Who cares? But now it's like every time I open Twitter, it's like the fucking trending tab is like, corpse husband farted live on stream today, and everybody's fucking rolling their foreskins like boogers in celebration.
This is a certified hood classic.
Okay, Amir, you should only use a sound effect once per episode. Like, you're just repeating them now. Also, it's really, can someone explain this to me, where it seems like, is it a joke that the most comically small things that these SMP creators are doing are trending? They'll be like, Dream falls off his chair, and that's like a story. How is that a story?
Yeah,
please,
that's
someone
my
explain.
Point. That's my point. Well, what it is, it's just the weird Twitter algorithm where a lot of people are talking about it. Which I get it. That makes sense for that to be on trending. But I feel like if it's the same person trending, of course a lot of people are going to be talking about it because they have a lot of fans. But like, I don't want to know when Dream sharts. Why was that trending? Why is Dream sharted trending?
Exactly. I'm trying to think of like the creators that I admire the most. Like I would say back during the height of my appreciation for H3 Productions, like when I was really dialed into the channel.
Right.
I didn't want to know his like bowel movements and stuff. Like I wasn't interested in the minutia of his day. Why are people, I don't know, like it's really trivial stuff too. Like just like basic movements of the body or like the breath of someone is news now. And maybe they're right. Hailstorm in the chat says that it's like people are so bored because of COVID. Maybe it is kind of just like kind of an extension on that thing where it's people are just cooped up for too long. So it's like
just looking for something to fill their day with.
Yeah. By the way, Doplex, where can people go to tune into these episodes live?
Oh, they can go to, hold on. If you want to tune into these episodes live, you can head on over to discord.t1podcast.com. That's discord.t1podcast.com. Okay?
Okay.
Good.
Oh, we should explain why Kudos isn't here, by the way. I feel like we kind of glossed over that. And I wanted to bring something up with that too, because, okay, so first of all, Kudos isn't here because like an idiot, he forgot that he had a thing today for a national holiday, I guess, in Australia. He'll be back next week. Hopefully. And also, I'm not entirely sure, someone might be able to correct me on this, but I'm not entirely sure that we ever explained him joining the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Did we?
Would you like me to give the tale?
Can you do it without sound effects?
Can I do it with the music?
That's good. That might be hard to edit. I don't know. Like, what do you think?
I want to do it with the music. I'll try to amp it up so you don't even have to edit this bit.
Okay. Also, I think it's kind of funny, by the way, that assuming that we actually didn't do that, there's probably out of the, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of listeners out there that there might be one or two people out there who are just thinking like, wow, Kudos has been guest hosting a lot lately. Like a lot. I think I'm just very confused.
You know, we should have done it like that. We should have just like never announced that Kudos was the third host and just that he was just a guest host. I feel like that would have been funny where he's just always the guest host.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, the tale. Okay. It all started on a gloomy Saturday afternoon. Kudos, aka James, direct messages me and says, "Hey man, your balls are looking nice and fat today." I said, "Hey, thanks, bro." And then Lars and I discussed that we were looking for a third co-host, possibly, and our options. Kudos was one of them, and so I messaged him and said, "Hey, Kudos." I asked him,
"Is this Among Us?"
And he said,
Yes.
and then the rest is history.
This is not the most informative explanation, but kind of creative, I guess. But yeah, if you're that one dude in the audience who's just like really hopelessly confused, yeah, Kudos is officially the third host. And it's possible that we actually did announce that and I just forgot.
Right.
But like, yeah, because I know we put it on the Discord, and I know we talked about it on a bonus episode. I don't think we ever did on the mainline episode. I should go. I'm forgetting stuff on my own podcast from like only several weeks ago. That's really bad. That's a bad sign.
It's not bad. I forgot what I did this morning.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, like, you know, you all these days I've been just mashing together like one giant fucking silly putty on a goddamn newspaper, just one big ball of mush. That's been this past year. Like we've been locked inside for a year,
Bruh.
and I just nothing makes sense to me anymore.
It's been just the weirdest year. Just what was I going to talk about? Oh, okay. I want to mention something, which is, so you said something in our creator group chat that we're both in, that really stood out to me.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it.
That?
Okay.
Okay.
So you said that's why I bring Tupperware to Bukake meetups, which
You can't do that. That's out of context because I don't even remember the context.
Well, the context is that it was like we were dicking around. Like it's
right.
not. I'm not saying I think that you go to Bukake
store
meetups.
cum.
Yeah, but I think that is quite possibly the grossest thing I've ever heard you say. Like that is just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, the thing. Okay, what if you're like a freelancer for like a sperm bank? You know,
So you're going there to try to like surreptitiously sneak the
yeah. Think about it. Okay, let's say you go to a sperm bank and they're like, hey, we're not hiring, but we are looking for contractors. You know, like field workers, and they hand you a whole set of Tupperware and say, go collect just as much cum as you possibly can. We don't care like where you get it from. Just bring it back. And you're like, okay. And then, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go head straight for the next Bukake meetup you see. You're going to barge in there. You're going to say, okay. And then you're just going to let it happen.
I mean,
and what if they pay you by like the liter? Naturally, you're going to want a lot. And Bukake seems like the most reasonable place to get a lot.
None of this is reasonable. What are you talking about? This is so ridiculous.
Okay, well, where else would you get copious amounts of cum like all at once? You're looking for a quick paycheck.
So name a context for me here, Amir.
Okay.
In which you would need, and I quote, copious amounts of cum.
I just did. If you're freelancing for a sperm bank.
Yeah, you made up some batshit insane like hypothetical, but in reality, I don't think there's any situation in which you need large volumes of cum. Okay.
All right. Okay. So you know the whole thing how there's a lot of protein in semen, right? Let's say you're
is that true?
I don't know. Maybe. I think it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know if anybody in the chat. Hailstorm says there is.
Okay, well, it's
perfect.
I guess it's like the pre-human. So I guess it does technically have to have protein in it. That makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. So okay, let's say you're in dire need of protein, right? Like your doctor tells you, Mr. Lars, you're suffering from a protein.
Dr. Wareheim.
Yes. Yeah. You're suffering from a protein deficiency and you have 12 days to live, right?
Oh, do you watch Tim and Eric, by the way? That was a reference. I think you would really like Dr. Wareheim.
Wait, you would
find it pretty funny.
I haven't watched Tim and Eric in years.
Okay.
I loved Tim and Eric, but I haven't watched that in years.
Well, Dr. Wareheim is this premise where like Tim Heidecker goes to Dr. Wareheim and he does like comically invasive stuff to him. Like it's slapstick, but it's like so over the top. Like it's funny because it's them doing it. It's really hard to describe. Right. Like, yeah.
That sounds like a classic Tim and Eric.
And actually, in one of the Dr. Wareheim episodes, he does instruct Tim to consume his own semen as like a cure for something. So I guess it applies. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So let's say that's reality. You need a lot of cum in order to survive some horrible terminal illness. You know, and
when that illness comes around, then we can talk. I guess. Then we can get into that.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was the grossest thing you've ever said. What else do I got here? So we talked about why Kudos isn't here every week. I wanted him to get into his story about getting naked with Keemstar, but he's not here.
That's okay. We could play D&D. That's what I had set up for tonight for this episode.
Oh, you did. Yeah.
I did. Yeah. So do you want to be the protagonist of this D&D game that I wrote up in my head?
The protagonist, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's do that.
I feel like this won't work because like the guest isn't here. So
that's okay. We'll make it work. It'll be a quick little game. All right. And it's not gonna be anything crazy. You know, it's you give me what you want to do and I tell you what happens next. Just easy as that.
I saw a guy drive into Arby's today. I felt bad for him.
You saw what?
I saw a guy drive into an Arby's, like not drive into it physically, but like, drive to the parking lot and go in.
Yeah,
I felt bad for him. Like he's going to have Arby's. Yeah.
Well, we can't all be so lucky. Consume Arby's.
Some people are forced. They're like, I have to go to Arby's today.
They're like crying as they're pulling up.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to do this D&D thing? I think it'll be fun.
I mean, is it going to be a good bit?
Maybe. It could be.
All right. Let's try it. We'll cut it if we need to.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the first podcast, first ever Dungeons and Dildos. Okay. All right. So what's your character's name?
Stormageddon.
Stormageddon?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's your weapon?
Do I need a weapon?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, hey, how else are you going to protect yourself?
Why do I need to protect myself?
From the dungeons and the dragons.
Oh, I thought this was like a pornographic parody of it based on the name that you gave.
Oh, no. No, those I couldn't think of anything else.
Okay. Okay, so let's say that I have a Colt 45.
Colt 45. Okay. All right. So your name is Stormageddon. You have a Colt 45. And what's your perk? Like what's your fancy little magic thing?
I don't know Dungeons and Dragons. What am I?
I don't know it either. That's the thing. Neither of us know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, but we're winging this.
Wait, what's the question again?
What? Okay, so your name is Stormageddon. You have a Colt 45, and you need like all right. What's one item that you always have on you?
My Colt 45.
A different item, like a special item,
like a briefcase
Kleenex,
or something, or
just an empty briefcase.
How about this? How about I'm completely out of my element here. A cloak of invisibility.
No, I feel like that's okay. Fine, you can have that, but it only lasts. It only lasts for one. Like if you make a turn, you make a move, then it expires. You can't use it again. Because you could just cheese through the whole game, but you're invisible.
I would love to cheese through this game.
Well, all right, fine. Okay, fine. All right.
No, I like this in the chat. Stormageddon, the Colt 45 wielding rogue with a jar that holds the souls of all the women he slept with.
Perfect. All right, Let's go with that. Okay. All right. So
wait, are souls heavy?
No, it's a jar. I doubt it holds any sort of tangible weight. Probably just the jar. Okay. So, Stormageddon, you are approaching a shopping mall, an abandoned shopping mall. Okay. And you need to find your way in there because when you were a kid, you dropped a Polaroid picture that has your most embarrassing moment on it. Okay. And it's been hidden under the Sam Goody's CD store under the carpet. And you need to get in there and you need to cut the carpet out and get that Polaroid.
Okay, so I go to Sam Goody and I cut the carpet and I find.
Well, no, it's not that easy. Okay, so you approach the door. You approach the door of the abandoned shopping mall, the main entrance. How are you getting in?
I immediately drop the jar. It shatters.
Okay, you didn't get in. You just dropped your jar of souls.
Yeah, I know. It sucks.
Okay, all right. So a security guard hears a sound, and he comes out. He's like, hey.
Okay.
Hey, you fucker. What the fuck are you doing? This is private property. I'll give you 10 seconds to get out. Or I'm going to fucking sodomize you with my nightstick. Because we don't have sexual assault laws.
No, this doesn't make any sense. Why is there... This is an abandoned shopping mall and there's a security guard there? Why would they be there?
To make sure people don't break in.
No one does. That's not how it works.
Well, it does in this scenario.
This scenario doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense. Hey, you fucker, what are you doing here? Get out.
Okay, so how are you going to deal with the security guard? Here's what I tell him the same thing. I tell him, you shouldn't be here either because they don't hire security guards for abandoned security malls or abandoned shopping malls.
And in turn, he shows you his paperwork that signifies that he is in fact allowed to be there because he works for the company Allied Security LLC.
Okay, so I question the integrity of that paperwork.
Okay, and then he gets on his phone and he calls up his supervisor, and his supervisor's like,
while he's distracted, I sneak in. While he's distracted, I sneak in.
Okay, All right. So you made it in.
Yeah.
The security guard is still outside. He's talking to his supervisor, explaining why he had to do that, why his authority wasn't strong enough, and he got questioned by a strange man holding a jar of the souls of the women he slept with. Okay, so you're in the shopping
mall. I'm not holding
mall.
anymore.
Right, you broke it. Whatever. Okay, so you're in the shopping mall. You're in the shopping mall now. All right. You need to find your way
I go to the
Sam Goody. Well, hold on.
Yeah, I go.
Hold on. All the stores, they're not labeled, right? Because it's an abandoned shopping mall. You don't know which store it is. All you know is that it is next to a Wetzel's Pretzels that you used to go to as a kid.
Okay, and I feel like even if I didn't see the labels, I could probably find the Wetzel's pretty easy.
well, hold on. You have to find. Okay, how are you going to find your way there? The mall is huge.
Well, usually what I do when I want to find something in a mall is I walk around and look at signs, but in this case, I just walk around.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So you're faced with three paths. Okay. As a kid, you remember. Yeah, you're faced with three paths. Okay.
Okay.
The first path takes you down a dark corridor. At the end of the corridor is a homeless person, and he's got like one of those medieval maces for some reason that he found. The left path will take you. You'll go the long way around, but you'll have to like fight a bunch of guys, like
just
general grunts. And then the right path to the right of you, it's you got the security guards over there. So if you face them again, then it's gonna be trouble. Which way do you go? Stormageddon.
I stay put.
But you gotta proceed. You gotta progress through the story.
Wait, isn't it an option to not take an action?
Yeah, I guess. Okay, all right, fine. Okay, all right. So you choose not to move. Oh no. The homeless man makes eye contact with you, and he's running down the straight corridor. He's swinging his mace, and he's getting ready to hit you upside the head. How do you move?
Okay. Oh, I shoot him in the head, and he dies.
You don't have a gun. Oh, you do have a gun. Okay, yeah. All right. You shoot him in the head. And he's bleeding. He's bleeding out.
Okay.
But he's screaming. His screams. His screams are.
This is really dark.
His screams are notifying the security guard. The homeless man is dead now, but the security guard is coming towards you. How do you proceed?
I shoot him in the head.
Okay, so the security guard, you shoot him.
He bleeds out.
He can't get away with it.
So now you have 2 counts of murder.
And I just want my picture.
Okay, so they're both dead. The coast is seemingly clear. Okay, so you've taken out the homeless man, you've taken out the security guard, and now
all of
you have
these people who are just in the mall, the abandoned mall.
So are you gonna go straight or are you gonna go right?
I'm gonna loot the bodies.
You're gonna loot the bodies. Okay, all right. Let's see. So you loot whose body are you gonna loot first?
Probably the security guard. Probably has more to loot.
Okay, so on the security guard, you find a
$19 Fortnite card.
Okay,
and on the homeless person, you find a
where's my sound effect?
You find a just nothing. It's like pocket lint, I guess.
Wait, on who?
On the homeless guy, you find just like pocket lint.
Oh, I want to take one turn. By the way, I only want to loot the security guard.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. So yeah, you found the $19 Fortnite card.
Yeah.
$19 Fortnite card. Who wants it?
So now you're free to continue down the right path. That's where you choose to go.
Okay.
And so you're walking. You have your $19 Fortnite card. You're walking, and you see in front of you, a big piece of just dilapidated mall shit, just like a bunch of just shit in your way, just like various debris and just stuff.
Debris.
But it's blocking your path. Yeah, it's debris. How do you get over it?
I shoot it in the head.
Well, okay, fine. You fire your gun. You fire your gun at the debris. It ricochets off, and it breaks a nearby window.
Okay.
The window is to the Oshkosh Bagosh store, and outside.
What is this, 1997?
it's been abandoned for a long time.
Okay.
So the Oshkosh Bagosh store windows break.
Wait, so it's been abandoned for like 20 years? They still have a security guard haunting the halls?
Well, they do now because you killed them.
Okay.
So out of the Oshkosh Bagosh comes piling a bunch of just like hoodlums. You know, they just kind of crash there. They just kind of hang out. You know, so they approach you. Hey man, this is our turf. You want some trouble? You want to fucking kiss? How do you proceed?
Oh, I thank them for their offer, but tell them that I am a heterosexual and I walk past.
Okay. They accept and they back off. But you're still blocked by the debris.
Okay.
So no, you still gotta get over the debris.
Okay, so I climb over the debris.
Okay. It's too tall and it's too sharp. You fall and you land on your back, and the hooligans laugh at you.
Well, anyway, I continue.
You keep trying to climb.
No, I find another way.
Okay. Okay. All
Obviously.
Right, so you go through the Oshkosh Bagosh. And inside, you find like a car jack.
I feel like the listeners are going to be really fucking annoyed with these sound effects, by the way. Like, they're going to hate this episode because of it.
All right, sorry. Okay, so you find a car jack inside of the Oshkosh Bagosh for some reason, and a cigar. So you have the choice to take the cigar or the car jack. What do you take?
No, I feel like that's unrealistic. I feel like I could easily take both.
Well, no, you have to take one. You one of
Wait,
your
so
hands.
this is all prepared?
No, this is all off the top of my head.
Okay, you said because you said you like prepared a segment that like.
Yeah, no, just the idea of the segment, just doing this. I'm winging this. So you can only choose one item because it belongs to the hooligans who were crashing and hanging out inside of the Oshkosh Bagosh. They tell you to have. You can only take one of their items.
Okay. Well, I feel like a car jack would be. Not super useful, probably more useful than a cigar.
Okay. So you choose to take the car jack.
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay. All right. So you pick up the car jack. You tell the hooligans that this is the item you want, and they say okay, and they guide you back to the debris. And in front of the debris is a different security guard. He's the security guard supervisor, and he asks why you killed his employee.
Okay.
How do you respond?
I shoot him in the head.
Okay. Okay. So you shoot him in the
He bleeds out and he's screaming.
He bleeds out. He's running and he's bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
And then he passes away. He succumbs to his wounds. He's dead. You have all these bodies around you. These hooligans are afraid of you. They run back into the Oshkosh Bagosh. They quickly board up the walls.
Quickly board up the walls?
Yeah.
That's not a quick action. It takes a while. Like hours.
They're very fast at it. They've done it multiple times in their life. Okay, so now there's nobody around you. You've killed everybody, and now it's just you and your Colt 45 and your car jack.
Okay.
So how do you proceed past this debris?
I take a turn to ponder how this is Dungeons and Dragons.
It just is. Okay, you think about it, you realize, oh, okay, it makes sense.
Okay, so I loot the body.
You loot that body as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Inside, you find a piece of bubble gum.
Great.
So just a quick inventory check. You have a Colt 45. You have a car jack, and you have bubble gum. How are these three things?
Am I Duke Nukem?
Yes. You are Duke Nukem.
I guess at this point, yeah.
How do you proceed past the debris, or you can go back the way you came and
Well, I chew the gum because I gotta say his line about how he kicks ass and chews bubble gum and he's all out of gum.
right. Okay, so you do that and nobody's around to witness it, so you just kind of feel like an idiot.
I don't feel like an idiot. I feel great. I'm Duke Nukem, bitch.
You say that out loud, and the hooligans are just like, "Dude, is he talking to himself?"
And I, the secure individual, don't care about their opinions.
Right. Okay. So you, the secure individual who doesn't care about the hooligans' opinions, still needs to get past the debris.
Okay.
How do you proceed?
I shoot him in the head.
You can't shoot debris in the head. It doesn't have a head. It's just a pile of garbage.
I notice a convenient way around, and I take it.
Okay. And describe the convenient way around to me.
Okay, so the debris is only on one side of the mall, but there's an entire walkway on the other side that I can just use.
Okay. All right. So you go around, you're continuing forth, and you see a carpet pattern inside of an abandoned store. You only see a little bit, just from like a little light leak because it's pitch black in there, right? There's no electricity in this mall. It's just lit by just moonlight. You see a soft light leak in a carpet that vaguely resembles a Sam Goody store. And in your path is a bed of nails that you have to walk over the nails. They're all sticking up. Or you can use something in your inventory to help you. Do you walk through the nails, or do you try to help make it easier to get through?
I go ahead and find a different store. This seems like it's not going to end well.
Well, you have to go to Sam Goody. That's where your
so this is Sam Goody?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't need the picture that much. I leave.
Well, this is your whole quest.
Yeah, I've realized the futility of the quest.
But it's right there.
But there are nails that are going to cut me.
But you need this picture. It's the most embarrassing moment ever captured on photograph.
Yeah, but the only people who would ever see it are either dead or boarded up.
Okay. All right. So you make the decision to go home. And behind you, you hear a faint whisper and some footsteps. You turn around and you hear like a clickety clack thing, right?
A horse?
No, just a general clickety clack, right? A guy comes out of the Sam Goody, and he looks at you and he screams, and then in his hand he's holding the photograph that you want, and he's pointing a gun at you. Okay, I shoot him in the head. Well, hold on. He has to do his monologue.
No, I wouldn't be holding on in this situation. I'd just shoot him.
Well, no, you gotta let me finish. You're in a cutscene right now. All right, the guy comes out. Hey, I got your picture.
Wait, so it's Joe Swanson?
It's Joe Swanson, but he can walk. Hey, okay, I got the photograph you're looking for. And he's pointing a gun at you. And he says, if you want this picture, you gotta come and get it from me. You gotta physically come over here and take it from my hands. I'll give it to you willingly. You just gotta come here.
Okay.
And
so I go get it.
All right, so you walk over the nails to go get it?
No. I tell him to come over here.
Okay. Well, he says, I can't. You gotta walk over here to me. I'm the one with the picture, so you have to come here.
So I tell him just to throw the picture to me.
He says no.
I tell him to throw it.
He says no.
I tell him throw it. God damn it!
He gets frustrated. He's getting just real mad. All right, I gave you a chance to come get this picture, but now I'm upset. And then
he's not Joe Swanson.
Oh, sorry. Hey, I gave you a chance. I can't do it anymore. It's just some guy. It's not Joe Swanson. He's not. He's just some guy because I can't do the voice.
Okay.
He says, "Hey, come get the picture, dude. Please, I'm begging you here to progress the story." He wants you to progress the story.
Okay. So, I use the car jack very carefully. It takes about 30 minutes, but I very carefully walk on top of the car jack and keep placing it and replacing it very carefully so that I can get across the nails.
Okay. All right. So you slowly make your way over the bed of nails. Step by step, you use the car jack to lift yourself up to prevent injury from the nails.
Yeah.
From across the bed of nails, the stranger notices your work. He says, "Hey, you got a nice ass."
So now he just wants it again.
And you thank the stranger.
There's a lot of homoerotic content in this.
Well, it's called Dungeons and Dildos.
Okay.
So you make your way over there. He hands you the picture as promised, but he says there's a catch. And how do you respond?
Shoot him in the head. He bleeds and screams and dies.
So he passes away. He succumbs to the wounds. And you beat the game.
Right.
The credits roll. And then you leave, stepping over the bodies that you left in your wake. You head back to the town you came from. And on your way there, you take a scenic route into wilderness. You pull over and you find a nice little embankment, and you walk over to an empty patch of dirt. You start a fire, and then you toss the Polaroid into the fire. And what's your final line? What do you say?
I'm Duke Nukem.
Okay, so you say you're Duke Nukem, but once again, nobody's around to hear you say it.
I still say it because it's cool.
But then you turn around. Dungeons and Dildos is filmed in front of a live studio audience at Universal Studios Orlando.
Nice.
And the whole thing's been a sitcom. And then, yeah. You win.
Nice. I won! Yay! I did like the improv of that, where you just kept coming up with stupid bullshit and I had to like respond to it as Duke Nukem.
I can't wait. I hope one day somebody will make an animated version of all that.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
All right. So that's the end of that.
That was a good bit. I thought that was a good bit.
Yeah, it was a good bit. I was worried it was going to suck, but it was all right.
Can we get if you listeners enjoyed that bit, please type in I enjoyed that bit in the chat.
No one's going to type that.
I enjoyed that bit. And then like the number 7 or something, just so I know which bit you're talking about. I enjoyed bit number 7. Thank you. Thank you for enjoying bit number 7.
Okay. Wait, why is it bit number 7?
I don't know, just to specify.
Okay.
See, people enjoyed bit number 7.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Been thinking about giving you the nickname Big Cheese. What do you think of that?
Big Cheese?
Yeah.
I think of Resident Evil 4.
Okay. Why?
That's what I think.
I haven't played.
There's just a guy who this guy calls him the Big Cheese.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. I don't even know his name. I just know him as the Big Cheese because of that.
So, I was going to bring in a topic, but it's like a whole rabbit trail, which is the topic of why it seems like every content creator eventually gets outed as a diddler, but we don't have to get into that.
Yeah, we could save that for another time.
Okay.
I think I think we covered good ground today, honestly.
Let's do one more segment and then we'll call it a day.
You want to do a mini session of Dungeons and Dildos?
Another one? I don't know. I feel like we did well with that.
Yeah, true. Don't want bit number 7 to overstay its welcome.
You know, actually, no. Go ahead. Might as well just do something real fast. Just come up with something real quick.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. So you pre-ordered Call of Duty.
So this is pure fantasy.
Yeah. This is pure fantasy. So you pre-ordered. Fuck it. Damn it. All right. So you pre-ordered Call of Duty. You've been looking forward to it all month. You hop in your car and you go to GameStop because it's release day. You go to GameStop and you park your car. Get out of your car and there's a GameStop employee. He's not in the store. He's outside for some reason and he's crying. How do you approach him?
You know what I'm going to do.
You don't have a gun in this. You're just a normal citizen.
Oh, I feel like it. In all honesty, and I know this might come across as kind of like standoffish, but in real life, if that was the case, I'd probably come back later.
No, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah, because clearly there's something's going on there, and I don't want to exacerbate it or get involved in any way.
Right. Okay. So you hop back in your car.
By the way, I feel like we should just get into this because this is actually kind of interesting. Have you ever had an experience where, like, you were working in a job and like a customer or an employee started crying?
Yeah, actually, plenty of times.
Plenty.
Oh yeah, plenty of times.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear about this now.
Oh God, I'm trying to think of like. Let's see. There's one I worked when I worked at the debt collection agency. My boss was just such a depressed woman that she would cry all the time, but specifically just to me. And that was always awkward because like I would go in there and I would just like ask her a question like, "Hey, how do I do this thing?" And she would just like start crying, like out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it was just it was such like an awkward thing because I'm like, oh God, all right, well, I guess I'll talk to her, you know?
Yeah. Wait, why did she do that to you?
I don't know. It was just like she would like be like, oh, I'm doing this thing for this person, and they're just like, and then she'll just start crying, and I was like, why are you crying? Right? I'm working. I need to do this thing.
Yeah.
Time to. Yeah. Really so that was awkward. One, and then
I'll sprinkle in one if you want.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a very interesting situation where it's like I've never experienced it again. So I used to work at Albertsons, right?
Okay.
Well, for the international audience, that's a grocery store. And this one time while I was on a shift, this lady was going through the self-checkout lane, and they were just like sobbing their eyes out, like the saddest I think I've ever seen someone. But also continuing to check out. Like they're like, I guess they were just a very practical person where they were very upset, but they realized they needed to finish shopping for groceries.
Right.
Yeah. I always thought that was funny.
Debit, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone in the chat says, "Hey man, you need your eggs." Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like she still needed to buy her stuff, so it made sense.
Right.
It was just really funny because there's like the contrast of how mundane the situation was with her just like absolutely burst into sobs.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you like, did you say anything or did you just like, thank you for shopping at Albertsons?
I mean, I was working at my own line, so it's like I didn't really, I couldn't leave to go do something, but
right. That sucks.
Yeah. You got any more?
Let's see. Yeah, when I worked at GameStop, I remember I was coming into my shift and my old boss, he was like an ex-vet, or like an ex-SEAL or something. He was like a younger dude, but he was just and I come into my shift and he's like talking to some customer, but they're having like a weird conversation about who's been through more trauma in their life. And it was like the most awkward thing to come into, especially working at GameStop. You're like, I'm going to come in and sell these video games today. And just to see like him and some other grown man just crying, but like cry fighting because they were like fight. It was an argument that was happening. And I just kind of like stood there like clocking in, not really knowing what to do. Because, him being an ex-vet, he's like, I watched my brothers die. I watched my, friends that I knew. It was like, God damn, dude, he's just buying fucking Bad Company 2 or whatever game is. I don't know. He's just buying Cooking Mama.
That's why I would say that quote from Scrubs, which I realize is a little harsh, but at one point, Dr. Kelso says, "This is not bring your problems to work day. This is just work day." That's kind of how I approach work. Like,
right.
I just go in and do my job. And if I'm dealing with stuff, I just deal with it,
Yeah. I think that's the best way to do any job, honestly.
Yeah,
Just like you got to act like you're just an NPC. You know, like
exactly.
you don't have you don't have personal problems. You're just there to do the job and not cry.
And also, I really prefer to clock out and just totally clock out. Like I hate any situation where I have to work outside of work.
Right. I mean, I'm used to it as an editor. That's kind of part of it. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, back when I used to work like those kinds of jobs, clocking out and not even thinking about it, that's a golden rule. So if you work at a job that doesn't require you to work after hours, make sure when you clock out, you tell all your coworkers to fuck off.
Well, maybe don't do it that way, but yeah.
Yeah.
Dark.
Anyway,
you've been listening to the first podcast. Subscribe today on YouTube if you haven't already at youtube.com/c/thefirstpodcast. Donate on patreon.com/T1podcast.
I don't think you need the C.
I like to say the C. Shut up, Amir.
Oh,
and
sorry.
go ahead and subscribe to Doplex because he actually showed up today.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah. It is you, Mario.
It's me, Mario. I'm Mario. I am Mario. I am Mario. I'm the guy from the video game. You might know me as Mario. I also know me as Mario. This is the lyrics to the song that Nintendo never wrote.